When it comes down to making money with e-commerce, it's probably not as complicated as you might think it really is. So right now, I'm going to take you through the 3 main steps I had to take in order to go from scratch to taking this one product to over $1 million in sales within just a few months. In the world of e-commerce, there's 2 main buckets: physical products and digital products. And in both of these markets, I'm always looking for holes. So what I mean by this is looking for where I see potential to sell something atypical, something different. Because if you're selling the typical products, testing the same products as everybody else, you're going to get typical results, which unfortunately are not good results. So in order to get results that we would consider good, like over $1 million within just a few months, I have to find something that needs demand. And one of the ways I come up with products inside of my head is thinking about human needs versus wants. And within both of these, I thought about shoes. I was thinking about clothing. Okay, most people, they need to wear clothes. Most people need to wear shoes. And that's where I started doing some research. Clothes themselves is a very competitive niche. It's a competitive space. I personally wouldn't want to be selling clothes. But as I was digging deeper into the space, I realized that as far as shoes go, there wasn't a ton of hype around advertising and selling shoes online for an older generation. Let's say styles that people my age aren't really going to be wearing, but instead more shoes that have utility that people, say 35 and up, are going to be wearing just because they're comfortable and they get the job done. And there are tons of people selling shoes like this on the internet, but a lot of them don't know how to advertise. I still think they're relying on traditional marketing methods that are not even slowly anymore, they're quickly becoming outdated. So I saw a hole in the market for me to go ahead and start a business selling shoes to the older generation by advertising. And that's how I did this, with just one single static image ad. And that was the first important step that I took before actually bringing this to life, was finding where I fit in the market. Because if you go to anywhere else, or you listen to someone else telling you to sell this product, odds are it's not going to perform how you hope it to. But instead, you do a little more due diligence, you look into the market. Google is going to be your best friend. You can research basically anything at your fingertips, and then you can figure out where there are needs in the market and where you think you may be able to capitalize on them. And next, I needed to decide, how am I going to take this idea, this hole I see in the market, to a full-fledged business? What is going to be the vehicle that allows for me to grow this? And there's a few pieces inside of what I call the scalability system. Your offer itself, the product, the fulfillment, the back end, and then the marketing, how you're actually going to get people to purchase this product from you. Because anybody can have a product listed somewhere, but not everybody is going to be making sales, especially large volumes. And when I came up with this idea, I was still drop shipping products from overseas. And obviously now, if you know and watch my videos, you know that's something I'm not a huge fan of, because you're essentially setting yourself up for failure due to all the crazy things going on in the world. So personally now, for all my e-commerce brands, we have in-house inventory. But for this brand and this idea I had, that was the structure I was using. I went online and I was talking to different suppliers selling these different styles of shoes. And to be fair, I really don't know much about design shoes. I just was looking for something that, one, could be worn with pretty much any color, any outfit. It wasn't something that was bright green or bright red with all these different colors. Instead, there was only 2 colors and they were both very neutral. And the second thing I was looking for was the overall utility. So these were actually slip-on shoes, but they also had, very good grip, and they were shoes that could be worn and used for just about anything. So essentially solving the exact problems I was seeing that could be solved in the market, that other people weren't advertising for, to this older market who needs these shoes. That was my exact mentality. So I figured out what my offer was going to be, and then I needed to set up my fulfillment. So I went ahead, set up an online storefront through Shopify, and connected everything with my supplier. So whenever I would get orders, the sheets of the orders with all the information would be transferred in between myself and my fulfillment place, and they would ship out the orders for me. But really, this setup isn't necessarily the hardest part. What's more difficult for most people is actually making the sales. So the marketing part of it. So when I was into my mind thinking about how I was going to market it, how I was going to scale this and turn this into something legitimate, I decided, out of everything I could do, to go with Facebook ads, because I know that Facebook itself has a ton of users, and there's a lot of people that use Facebook frequently who fit my ideal customer. 35 plus, male, who's going to wear this shoe, simple, utility, not a bad price. And in the past of other dropshipping stores I had ran before, I was always trying to come up with the newest, craziest, most attention grabbing ad I could for whatever product it may have been. But for this, I decided to go a more simple route because I figured, okay, all these people, they're going through Facebook, they're just kind of chilling, scrolling through things, burning time, and I just wanted to make it feel like it fit into their feed while also making it seem like something they needed. So as a non-shoe expert, I decided I was simply just going to sell these shoes through a simple image ad. That's how I was gonna first test the marketing. All I did was use a simple image, kind of a side shot of the shoes being worn, that showed what it looks like and what it could look like on the person viewing the ad. And then in the description, using certain value points purely just to get the people that are interested enough to go over to my website. Because a lot of people in the marketing space with advertising will try and go as harsh as possible, discounts, crazy incentives right off the bat, just to get people to go and buy their product. But I prefer just to use the ad as an accelerator to get people to my website, and then I let my website, my landing page, my offer sell itself. Because all these ad platforms are accelerators. You're just paying for more eyes than if you were to try and only market this organically or through word of mouth. So advertising platforms are a blessing, and I was able to use that to start making some initial sales, but I wasn't really profitable. And within a week, I spent a lot of time testing different captions on the same image ad because I would make some sales, but I was just kind of slightly below breaking even. And eventually within that week of testing different captions on the ad, making some little tweaks on the product page, I was able to get to a point of break even. And once I was at that point, I was ready to go ahead and just keep spending money and see how far I could push it. And as I was pushing it and learning more about the Facebook advertising platform, becoming more advanced, spending more money consistently, I started to see what was working and what wasn't. And really that's all advertising is in its simplest form, is doing more of what works and less of what doesn't. Now, as far as strategy goes, there are a million different things that I have done, and they're on this YouTube channel if you want to check that out. But to keep the story to the point here and the value and purpose of this video, I was able to go ahead and take this store to gradually increase from, within the first month, let's say roughly 20, 30 grand, to then scaling, doubling it that the next month, and then doubling that again, and then getting into 6-figure months, leading up to over $1 million total within just a few months. And we're gonna get to margins here in a second. So now that I had a scalability system in place, I was pretty confident in where we were headed. But as you may have experienced before, boom, a Facebook ad account disabled or page restricted, something like that, where then, if all your eggs are in one basket, your business is toast for the time being. So after I had that experience one time, I realized some workarounds and began to build out not just more structure around advertising on Facebook itself, but also advertising on different platforms, becoming omni-channel. So that way, if one thing goes down for a day, your other channels are holding the business together. And overall, if you want to grow something sustainably, which I highly recommend, that's what you need to do, is be omni-channel. And the third and most important step of this entire equation in business we've been talking about is the fact of having an end objective. Prior to this store, I had done other ventures, digital products, physical products, drop shipping, in-house brands, and I had always kind of just had these spikes going from point A to point B and then starting over, okay, point A to point B. I was never going to that next step of B to C, C to D, etc., and really going to that next level. I would just kind of have a winning product moment and continue on with my life, looking for the next one. But eventually you'll realize that it's a never-ending game. So instead, you should have an end objective in mind when you are building your e-commerce brand. And there are two routes you can take when running an e-commerce business. One, you can continue to grow the store on your own, or two, you can continue to scale with the intention of a future cash exit in mind, which will then, allow you to pursue whatever that next thing is for you. So after realizing and seeing how quickly this business was growing for me, I decided it was a good idea to go ahead and get a pulse and see what kind of offer I could get for it. And that's why I decided to go to OpenStore. And I actually tried this out yesterday, so I'm gonna show you what offer I actually got. But just actually going here to open.store, I wanna show you how it works because it's pretty simple. Just put here my email, my store URL, and then got to just connect a Shopify store instead of having to fill out a bunch of paperwork, P&L, very, very simple this way. And then here, of course, they want to know about profitability because that makes a huge difference in what the business may be worth. So I went ahead here into the first one, product cost 30%, shipping and fulfillment costs 7%, and then marketing costs 44%. And the last thing here I had to do was just connect the marketing accounts. And honestly, I didn't have to do this, but you think about it, you're getting a cash offer for the business. It's just another asset that can make your business more valuable and potentially give you a higher offer, especially if it has a lot of data. So I connected that, and now I want to actually show you the offer. Boom. Nice. The offer price seems pretty fair considering they're taking all of the different data points into account over the last 3 months and the lifetime of the store itself. Now, I decided to go against this and continue going on my own. So it's not honestly a big deal because you can always get a reprice through OpenStore, which is super, super cool. So if you have a Shopify store with primarily US-based customers, you do over 300K a year, I'm gonna put a link in the description so you can see if you can get a free cash offer like I did right here. And if I wanted to accept this offer, I could just click accept, which then I would get connected to a success manager, a little bit of paperwork, obviously a legally binding contract, and then they actually give you 80% of the sale price. Then you ship the inventory to their place, finalize things, and after 60 days, you get the remaining 20%. So that's not a bad deal, honestly, if I wanted to transition into something else. But for this brand, actually, we decided to go the other route to continue growing it and see how we could expand, which is when we ended up bringing inventory over instead of drop shipping from overseas. So that way we could avoid a lot of the headache of the shipping times, customer complaints, especially even the older demographic. They want to communicate as much as possible. It's old school, which I understand. So we had to be able to support that. In this business of e-commerce, typically the people that go into it wanting to make money as quick as possible also lose it as quick as possible. So you need to know where your market fit is, you need to know what your scalability system is, and you need to have an end objective in mind so you're not just aimlessly working towards nothing. It's much better to be prepared. Or the 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. And that's absolutely right. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a big like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.